Hi, I'm Linda, and it's late April, and it's time to plant tomatoes and vegetables. So I want to show you a simple technique in this raised bed, hay bale planter bed that lasts for about 2 years. So I'm going to move the straw here away, and this straw is from the last 2 years straw bale planter bed. And so when it starts to break down and decompose, I just spread it out everywhere in the garden, and it beautifully amends the soil and protects the soil. So I'm just moved that away, and now I'm just going to dig. This soil is in good shape. It's had compost tea applied to it several times, so it's really got a nice biology to it, and I make sure I don't walk on it so it doesn't get compacted. Okay, in the bottom of the hole, you can either just throw fertilizer, an organic fertilizer, low, like a 454 NPK, but I'm going to use these extreme gardening packets that are actually 844, which is acceptable. 8% nitrogen, 4 phosphorus, 4 potassium. And I'm going to throw a few in the bottom because tomatoes are heavy feeders. They really use a lot of nitrogen. Okay, now I'm sprinkling in some mycorrhizae, and this is Mycos, pure mycorrhizal inoculant. Again, this is from Extreme Gardening, and I got both of these products at Fairfax Lumber right here in Fairfax from their gardening shop. This is going to inoculate the roots of the tomato plant and help it gather and harvest water and nutrients. So it's like hair extensions for the roots, if you will. Now this is my favorite cherry tomato, Chadwick cherry, named after Alan Chadwick, disciple of Rudolf Steiner. And I bought a lot of my favorite tomatoes when they were in 4-inch size. And this was about 6 weeks ago. And I upsized them to 1-gallon cans. And so you see how nicely rooted they are, and by Jove, I've already got tomatoes on them. So I'm going to place this tomato plant in here, and you'll see, ooh, that looks a little low, but that's fine with tomato plants because wherever the stem comes into contact with soil, I'm going to have to step into this a little bit, it will become a root. So that will give you more root capacity. My sister's really an expert on tomatoes, so I learned a lot from her. So, alright, I've got them in here, and I tamp them down a little bit. Now on top, I'm going to sprinkle, again, some of my low NPK vegan fertilizer, which means it's derived from plant sources, not animal sources. And I've mixed mine, this is my own little blend, I've mixed mine with azomite, which is a volcanic rock dust, and you can buy this at Marine Soil Solutions in San Rafael, and it's got 72 trace elements in it. Okay, so I've got that in, and then on top of that, I am putting in a generous helping of the compost that we made back in December. It's been finished for about 2 months and has been curing, and it's full of worms. It just smells fat. You could eat this. This is like cake. And so I'm giving a generous amount over the Alan Chadwick cherry tomato. Just put the rest of it in there. Okay, so now we're going to put a cage around this tomato. Get that securely in there, and what I like to do is plant beans with my tomatoes, since I've already got this support. So I raised a lot of beans from seed, but you can also just put the seeds right in. They're really easy. And this has already been inoculated with mycorrhizae when I planted it. So it's going. Put him there. And then I'm going to smooth the straw back so that keeps the soil nice and cool, protected conserving moisture. Alright, so that, and then of course I'm going to water right away. Also in this bed, I'm going to plant pumpkins and squash. I've got another tomato to go. I've already got a whole bed devoted to tomatoes. But I'm going to plant bush squash, and then vining pumpkins, because they can really ramble. And you can also plant right in the straw bale if you want. So the possibilities are endless. I am leaving a lot of these wonderful plants that attract pollinators. You can see in the California poppy, this bumblebee is gathering pollen, and just real happy getting its pollen loaded up for the day. And then these mustard plants are going to seed. They're flowering, and you can see all the pollinators on them. And we want all these pollinators here in our garden, especially bumblebees with the tomatoes, because they're the main pollinator of the tomato flower. So get your garden on. It's time. Call me if you have any questions. Happy gardening.